All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon on this Victory Friday. We've got more stuff to take a look at, and this video is going to be the rooting guide. We're going to do the rooting guide now for week 4, and the Seahawks game's already out of the way, so we already got what we wanted there, which is obviously the big one, the really important one. So now we can just watch a full Sunday and Monday of football, thinking only about what the Seahawks need for help. And there's definitely some stuff they can get this week that will help. So let's go through the slate here. We do have a very early Sunday morning game, so we are starting that this week. I don't know if it's going to be every week the rest of the season, but there's going to be more early games this year. Before we get to discussion of the games, though, I want to tell you guys about Sleeper. Before I go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using the Sleeper app this year for daily fantasy football, you are missing out. Take a look on the left side of your screen. Look at all the great stuff you can pick on over there. Let's put together an entry for this weekend. Here is mine. I've got Bijan Robinson scoring an anytime touchdown. Atlanta's offense is due for a breakout after last week's tremendous disappointment, scoring 0 points. I got Micah Parsons getting at least half a sack against the Cowboys. How is he not going to get a sack in that game? It's a revenge game for him. I got Rome Odunze with at least 59 receiving yards. He's feeling it right now. He's going up against the Raiders. Think he's going to do well. And I got DK Metcalf after 2 relatively slow games, getting at least 51 yards. Pittsburgh's having trouble running the ball. Time for DK to bust a big play or two. Get on over to Sleeper, put together your entry. You can get a $100 match on your first deposit with promo code SBN. Terms and conditions apply. Back to the video. All right, welcome back. So these first couple games are pretty easy. Vikings, Steelers. Kind of want the Steelers to win every game the rest of the season because we beat them, and that'll help our strength of victory. And last year's strength of victory really mattered. Now, it's unlikely it matters this year, but there's no reason to not hope that our strength of victory is really good. And besides, they're playing the Vikings. So the Vikings, you've got a really good team, really talented team, and a threat in the NFC, regardless of what their quarterback situation is. So the more losses they can take when J.J. McCarthy's out, not that J.J. McCarthy's been very good, but it's still better. Commanders, Falcons, this is another pretty easy one. We're rooting for the Falcons in pretty much every game they play this year. There's no reason not to, I don't think. And we need that pick to not be in the danger zone here because we don't need the Rams to be getting some top 5 pick. And the way the Falcons played last week, they might be giving up that top 5 pick. So I need to see some signs of life from that team. And I feel like the Commanders are a little bit more of a wild card threat right now, but that can change. I'm not worried about that so much. I just need the Falcons to show life. Saints Bills is our next game here. Now it is AFC on NFC, and usually that's pretty clear cut. Now the Saints are so bad, it probably doesn't matter. And you could make an argument that strength of victory might actually matter a little bit more here because we did beat the Saints. I still think we would probably rather have the Bills win, especially if there's somebody on the Saints you want to trade for. If there's somebody on that Saints team you want to acquire in a trade, you want them to keep losing, so they fire sale. But it's not clear cut because even if the Saints pull off the miracle of miracles in this game, it's not like they're suddenly going to be some playoff team. So I don't know. I don't know. If you want to root for the Saints, I'm not going to stop you, but I still think that we probably want the Bills to win just to get the Saints completely out of the way and to hopefully force some kind of deadline deals that we can benefit from. Although, again, that can bite the other way, too. What if the Rams acquire somebody good off the Saints? Browns versus Lions, another pretty easy one. Browns helped us out a lot last week. If they could do it again, that'd be awesome. Long odds, admittedly, right? That's probably not happening, but the Lions, they've shown the last couple weeks they're not going to go quietly. They looked really bad week 1, but they are not going to be just done with it yet. They are going to be in the playoff hunt, and we definitely need some help to push them back a little bit. So definitely going for the Browns here. Panthers, Patriots. Again, the Panthers are not good, but I still think that we should keep rooting for them to lose until they're really out of it. So Patriots are pretty clearly the pick here. I guess there's a little bit of a strength of schedule argument because we play the Panthers this year, but I think I'd rather just have the Panthers keep losing until they're out of it anyway. That way, when we play them, they have nothing to play for and just roll over. So I still think we want the Patriots to win. Chargers Giants, another one where it's kind of like, well, yeah, we want the NFC team to lose to the AFC team, but it doesn't feel like it matters. And again, I don't feel like this is really worth a lot of your time or effort. I still think we want the Chargers to win because, again, the Giants are a team that could give up some pretty good assets in a fire sale. Maybe the Seahawks could benefit from that. Again, double-edged sword. The last thing we need is a division rival to get like Dexter Lawrence or somebody like that. But I still think you gotta I think you gotta roll with it a little bit. So I think we want the Chargers to win. Eagles versus Buccaneers. Eagles versus Buccaneers. This one's interesting, and this one's going to require a little bit of thought. So let's think about this. We play the Buccaneers, right? We play the Buccaneers. So strength of schedule says we want the Buccaneers to win all their other games. So there is that angle here. But the other side of that is, do we want the Buccaneers going into the Seahawks game on a massive hot streak where they have won 3 games at the very end, basically at the buzzer, and then they beat the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, to hand them their first loss since the regular season last year? Like, do we want them feeling that good about themselves right before they play us? Because their next game is in Seattle. I think we do still want Tampa to win. I think. But I could be talked out of that. There's a couple other mitigating factors here. Like, we want Atlanta to win the division for the pick, but maybe we can't worry about that too much at this point, so we don't want Tampa Bay to build up too big of a lead. But I don't know if we're going to really sweat that much. That's tricky. So I think we want Tampa to win, but I'm worried about them building up so much momentum they just are unstoppable by the time they play us. But if they beat the Eagles, maybe they have a letdown game in Seattle because they're riding the emotional high. Like, there's a couple different ways to read into it. But yeah, I'd go with that. Titans at Texans, 2 teams that are 0-3. I don't know if this one matters. We play both teams. We play Houston in a few weeks. We play the Titans a little bit later. Maybe we want the Texans to win just because they'll be a little less desperate when they play us if they have wins banked. But they should be pretty much in desperation mode the rest of the season until they're above 500 again. So I don't know how much of a factor that plays in. So I don't know. Maybe if there's somebody on the Titans you want to trade for, you want them to lose. If there's someone on the Texans you want to trade for, you want them to lose. That one's, I'm pretty ambivalent. So that's the morning slate. Let's move to the afternoon now. Colts, Rams, pretty easy one here. Not much to say. If the Colts could keep it up, that would be beautiful. The Rams have shown they are clearly a threat to just kind of run away with things with the way they played against the Eagles on Sunday. Absolutely, positively should have won that game. Took a historic fluke for them to lose. 2 blocked field goals in the last, 5 minutes? So I'm not taking anything away from that Rams team just because they lost. And if the Colts want to give us a hand here, that'd be nice because there are not that many great opportunities for the Rams to lose games this year if you look at that schedule. Same with this next game, right? Jaguars at 49ers. If Jacksonville could come through, sure would be appreciated. Not a lot of opportunities for the Niners to lose games the rest of the way, so we could use this one. And my expectations aren't super high, but don't count out the Jags. Don't count out Jacksonville yet. They can be a good team. I think that there's still a lot of talent there. They can put it together in time to give us a hand. So, yeah, that's an easy one. Ravens, Chiefs, I think we're pretty ambivalent here. We don't play either team. I don't think either team is at any kind of a risk of blowing it up. So it's not like trade deadline stuff is going to factor in. Like, I don't think you can blow it up ever when you have Mahomes or Lamar as your quarterbacks. It's just too much potential. So I'm pretty ambivalent there. Bears, Raiders, may as well root for the AFC team over the NFC team. Again, I know it doesn't seem like the Bears are that good, but I don't think it's quite, we've seen enough to really conclude that. So I'm going to say we may as well just root in our best interests objectively until we get confirmation the Bears are bad. And we don't play either team. So not much there. Packers Cowboys. Sure feels like at this point the Cowboys are just going to go like 6-11. Doesn't feel like they have a path to be any good. So I guess I'd rather have them fluke a win to push Green Bay down, because I think Green Bay is a pretty big threat. I think they're a potential juggernaut. And I don't, even if the Cowboys win this game, I'm not suddenly going to think, oh, that's a really good team now. That defense is way too bad. So if they want to fluke a win, then I think I'm down with that. And then we got the doubleheader on Monday night, which is not very compelling. We got Jets-Dolphins. Again, that's another game where it's like, whoever you would rather trade for a player from, that's the team you want to lose. If you want to trade for Jordan Brooks, you want Miami to lose. If you want to trade for John Simpson, you want the Jets to lose. Something like that. That's the only thing going on there that I can think of, really. Bengals, Broncos. I don't really have much there. I don't think the Broncos are going to blow it up even if they start bad. I can't see them doing that. And the Bengals, maybe, but they'd have to go on a heck of a losing streak. So I'm going to say whatever for that game. I don't think that one matters. And that's the rooting guide for week 4. So let me know if you guys think I missed any considerations here, but I think that was pretty good. I think we actually got to the bottom of everything there pretty well. So see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everybody have a great rest of your day. More videos coming. A lot more videos. Keep an eye out.